Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Kelly Sparks, aka Red Dude. So today we're gonna discuss. I should have set up this camera up a little better. We're gonna discuss a good, cheap, inexpensive. I don't like the word cheap. Just brings up ideas of something that's substandard and subpar. So a good option if you're on a budget, in my opinion. One that I always forget about, Fighting Cock. The second most ridiculous name in whiskey, behind Chicken Cock. Who thought that was a good idea? Really? Chicken Cock? For a whiskey name? What? What? Makes sense. So, Fighting Cock is... Get off me. Can't read. I think it's... Is it produced by Heaven Hill? Shit, I forget. I think it's a Heaven Hill product. Oops, that's a little too much. I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, and I'm just making stuff up as I go. I believe it was branded or started as a alternative to Wild Turkey. And if that's not the truth, it should be, because Wild Turkey, Fighting Cock, they're both relatively the same amount of alcohol, 103 proof. I don't know the mash bill, I don't know anything about it. I think it's bottled by Heaven Hill. I used to know, but I forgot. And a little too close on the nose. It's got a similar nose and feel to it as Wild Turkey, so I'm guessing it might be a higher rye mash bill. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon. Yep. So, let's see how it tastes. So, it does have a young presence to it, in my opinion. But it's got a nice little spice note to it. Some caramel, some toffee. I mean, just classic bourbon notes. And all in all, it's 103 proof at sub $20 for a fifth. I think it's a good option if you're on a budget, looking for something inexpensive to drink. That's not going to just blow you away. I think it's a good option. And the only reason I purchased it is because local stores, the distributors, ran out of Wild Turkey 101. Like, how the effing hell do you run out of Wild Turkey 101? And the fits, I think the fits are starting to roll back in, but they're completely out of half gallons, which is preposterous to me. So, comment below. I always forget about this one. I think it's a really solid alternative. Yeah, there's nothing special about it. There's no delicate nuances that reveal themselves over time. It's a solid, it's got a nice little hug. It's a solid, I think this is a solid everyday pour. Yeah. For people on a budget, or even people who have a lot of money, if you want to stay inexpensive, or here's a good idea, buy a bottle of this and pour it in something that looks expensive. Like, what's from Heaven Hill that's super expensive? Freaking Elijah Craig, Old Fitzgerald. I mean, you could take a 15-year-old Fitzgerald decanter or bottle, dump this in it, and then serve it to your guests, and they won't know the fucking difference. Most 99% of the population, and even a lot of bourbon snobs, won't be able to tell. And even if they can tell, I guarantee you they'll probably lie like, oh man, that's fucking delicious. Which it is good, but I think most people won't be able to tell the difference. So And your mind will play tricks on you. So if you see an expensive bottle, like, this is a 15-year-old bourbon. Look at the fancy bottle. Oh, I bet it tastes delicious. It sure does. Yeah, that's a solid, viable option to any other budget whiskeys. I'm not displeased at that at all. Oh yeah, so that one chip challenge was the dumbest idea Curtis has ever thought of. We did it at the very end of the episode on our Bearded Idiots podcast, and I'll give you my play-by-play. So we ate the chip. You guys got to see the first 10 or so minutes of my experience. Now, the first 10 to 15 minutes, it was just burning in my mouth. And I will state that I lasted for 25-ish minutes, about 25 minutes, without taking a drink or eating anything. So I was almost halfway to the hour mark. However, I fucked up by eating it on an empty stomach. I had a burrito prior to the podcast, but we were roughly 2 hours in, so that burrito was already past the stomach into the lower areas of my body, and my stomach was completely empty, minus a few drinks of whiskey. So I ate it 20 minutes in. I'm going to say roughly 20 minutes in, I felt the heat of the chip slowly, as you see my beard, slowly traveling down my esophagus. See this? Esophagus? That's the food hole, right? Yeah, I think the esophagus is the food hole. I don't remember my biology. So I felt the heat traveling down my food hole. And it got to what I can only assume is the first stage of my stomach. Or right about, if you're looking at me while I'm standing up, right about to where the bottom of my beard hangs. And it just stopped there. So I'm guessing it was the stomach. And the heat and pain and just complete discomfort of that chip made me nauseous. And it was the worst stomach ache I have ever experienced in my life. And I legitimately just started sweating profusely. And like my body started going into chills, and like I'm legitimately, like, I'm not getting sick because of, it's like I was legitimately getting like flu symptoms. Just like just started going into chills, and the worst stomach ache ever. It felt like someone had punched me on the inside of my stomach, and it's like they punched and it just stayed there. The pressure and the pain, it was just and I was like, fuck, I gotta walk around. I gotta stand up. So I literally just put my headphones down, got up, walked out of the podcast room, walked into their bathroom, and I put my hands on the sink, and I'm just looking at myself like, fuck, do we need to call the fucking ambulance or what? And then I just glance over at the toilet. It was just to my left. And as soon as my eyes made contact with the toilet, my body was like, yep, that's where it's going. And I freaking purged my... Good thing your body looks out for yourself. It purged everything that was in my stomach, and like my throat immediately got hot again. My lips were burning, but I could feel that heat just come up and out. It was like a freaking demon. I can only imagine that's what people who are possessed, whenever they exercise their demons, feel like. And then roughly 5 or so minutes later, 5 to 10 minutes later, I was completely fine. Completely fine. No stomach ache. Stopped sweating. My mouth was on fire. My lips were burning. But other than that, it was good as gold. So, I don't recommend it. At least not on an empty stomach. Have a good sized meal. Put some food in your stomach. And then immediately, no chance for digestion. Immediately eat that chip. Horrible, horrible mistake. Alright, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the chip video, which is horrible. Check out Fighting Cock if you've had it already. If you had a fighting cock in your mouth, comment below. So, thanks for watching. Check out the Bearded Idiots. Like always, check the description below for ways to help out with the bills around the house. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Like always, drink some whiskey, share it with your friends and family. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Take care. We'll see you next time. Cheers.